So this video took longer than I expected to come out. I apologize for that. I've been searching for a bunch of hidden details throughout this episode, and just when I think I'm ready, bam, another detail I missed. There are probably a lot I missed in this video as well, so leave a comment below if you spot something that I didn't point out. So let's get right into this breakdown. Starting with the establishing shots on Copper 9, on the radio inside the car, we can see it turns on and it says the word null after a few seconds. Don't know why Sin would be messing with the radio, but whatever. This shot here appears to be inside of Doll's room. We can tell because of the fact that it's red and because of the knives and bugs floating around. We can even spot a decapitated head of a worker drone. Right after that, we get another look inside of Nori's kooky insane stuff closet. In the next shot, we see two dead worker drones on screen. These two worker drones being Rebecca and Brayden, who both died in episode 4 during the Solver Uzi massacre. We then cut to the teacher, who is voiced by Liam Vickers. Weirdly enough, he doesn't say any lines in this episode though. He is grading an essay written by Uzi with just the words, "I am God" written all over it. Uzi also seems to take a lot from her mother, considering she also knows how to draw the cool S. One of the books on his desk is titled, "A How-To Guide of Overcoming the Existential Dread Evoked by Murdering Innocent Sentient Robots Capable of Emotion and Independent Thought." This is probably some sort of therapist book for the humans who felt bad about abusing the drones. Inside the hole, we can actually see another eldritch-looking beast inside if you pause. This being Sin, or the Solver, whatever you want to call her, man, I don't care. We then cut to Uzi floating in space. The reason why she and Nori can't verbally say anything is because sound cannot travel in space. When Uzi asks Nori if the Solver can control her again, she responds with "if you a little bee," censored to a parental advisory warning from Uzi's perspective. Ironically enough, the music that plays in the background is also called that. Nori gives Uzi back her necklace after she took it off in episode 7. En arrives to save Uzi using the landing pod. Once Uzi's inside, he says "spaceship pilot," a reference to episode 2 when En found out that he was the pilot of the original landing pod. After their chaotic spaceship ride, Uzi looks at En and says, "Then die mad, B," before she gets cut off, referring to what she told En at the end of episode 7. Sin destroys the ship as En and Uzi crash down to Copper 9. One thing that I'm unsure of is how exactly they didn't get burnt at all from the heat, not to mention their clothes as well. During their crash, they also settled their feelings on each other, making Newsy canon. Sorry, NV shippers. The music playing in the background of this scene is titled "Falling With You." Not only is it similar to the title to the song in episode 4 called "Falling For You," it is also a more epic and cinematic version of it. Here's a little something that's actually hard to spot. In this scene, En actually tries to kiss Uzi. You can't really tell in the final animation, but the behind the scenes show us this. We can see this in Jacopo Poto Animation's animated showreel for the show. That's why Uzi pushed En away and said what she said. We then cut to Jay, who is visibly upset. She's holding a note clearly written by En telling her that he owes her one spaceship, meaning that while Jay was probably trying to deal with Lizzie and Thad, En snuck up to the surface, took the spaceship, and left the note. Due to the gravitational pull, Lizzie, Thad, and Con are struggling to get up. Con gestures to the bus next to him with a nod, and one of the wheels on the side of the bus does the same. Right before the three are hit from Jay's missile, V arrives on the same red-eyed sentinel from episode 6 that is called Sparky. How do I know that? Don't ask. This time it's wearing a cowboy hat, which most likely belonged to Bo. In the background, we can hear lyrics from the song Eternal Dream, now titled Eternal Destroyer. On Lizzie's phone, we can see her text messages with V, confirming that V was the secret friend. I love being right. On her phone, V is called Grumpy McTraumabot. We also see that V was able to somewhat tame the red-eyed sentinel by getting it into a chokehold. Once the three are launched into space, Con is actually doing the same T-pose that Uzi and now V do on the covers of the different OST albums. Throughout V and J's fight, we get some pretty big information. Apparently, V and J knew about Sin's orders the whole time. Sin even told them that if they kill the remaining hosts of the Solver, she'll leave them alone, which probably spoke to V a lot since that meant she would finally get her happy ending with En. That's why she acted like this throughout the entire series. Turns out, however, Sin tricked both of them, which J even admits to. That's the reason she's working with Sin in the first place. She wants to be on what she thinks is the winning team. When Jay asks V to switch sides, she responds with, "Oh, how about you bite me?" showing her loyalty to Uzi. Uzi and En arrive at the scene of the battle. Right before Uzi sends out another null command, her eyes and absolute Solver symbol are yellow for a second. Considering this is the first time she uses the command free from Sin's control, I'm assuming that's why it's like that for a second. During the scene, the song Uzi and En the Drone Killers plays, which is a reference to the song Uzi the Drone Killer from episode 1. They land on top of Cabin Fever Labs, and they project sunglasses on their screens, which kind of reminds me of what En did in episode 1. Sin then arrives and destroys Uzi's null command, reversing the damage. She proceeds to walk up to the two limply. She says, "Hello, Uzi," in a very serious tone. The absolute solver symbol even flashes for a second on one of her eyes. She then says, "Hi, N," in a very cheery manner, showing bias towards N. Sin then tries to hit Uzi with a callback ping, which she is able to resist. The callback ping Sin uses throughout the episode is a command that she keeps using to try and reconnect with Uzi. The music playing in the background, which actually goes on for a while, is called system:// Sin: callback ping: Uzi. Sin attacks and tries to rip Uzi's heart out, and rushes in to save Uzi. For a split second we see him worry about Uzi, but he quickly regains his focus to deal with Sin. Sin proceeds to claw into N's heart, error messages appearing on his screen. Uzi regains consciousness and begins to tilt the railings using her absolute solver powers to get her and N to safety. We also get to see that, like Uzi, Sin has the fleshy wings. J and V continue their fight, with J overpowering V. According to J, V hasn't gotten any better at fighting after what they did on Earth. Uzi drags N down the hallway, and we can see that N has fully regenerated his head back. Sin chases them down, the absolute solver symbol in her eyes. She scans the room and gets a warning symbol on one of her eyes. She then licks it away. N and Uzi hide in one of the rooms, and we see that N begins to have a panic attack. In his POV, we can see that he is actually remembering what actually happened during the Gala massacre. We can tell because the person clawing his heart out this time seems to be Sin without Tessa's skin on her. We can also see V's decapitated head next to him in a shot that is slightly reminiscent to the way Doll died. Sin almost takes control of Uzi. Her eyes start to flash yellow, and we can see the absolute solver symbol on her face. Her heart also starts to rip out of her chest. However, she resists control and comforts N. That is until V crashes into the hallway. V spots N down the hallway and assumes it's the real N, when in reality it's Sin tricking her. N yells at V to stop, which leads to Sin finding him and dragging him out the room. In the background, we can actually hear a distorted version of the beginning of Eternal Dream playing. Sin chases V out the hallway. Uzi gets out of the room with an oil splatter on her face, that being from N getting his heart ripped out. J kicks V to the ground, and Sin throws N's body right next to her. Sin raises N's heart over her mouth, ready to eat it. This is actually the exact same shot that was the thumbnail for the trailer of this episode. Right before she can eat N, she is stopped by the closing of the door behind her. She drops the heart on top of N's body and says, "God fucked it," censored due to her audio glitching out. The one closing the door, of course, being Khan with his remote. This means that Khan actually saved N, which I guess is good enough of a redemption. In the background, Sparky has Lizzie in its mouth. Dad tosses the railgun to Uzi, and Sin rushes down to the surface. She brings down Cabin Fever Labs, creating the same shot that was on Glitch's banner. Uzi arrives just in time to save V and N from Sin. When this happens, Jay gets a concerned/confused look on her face for a second. Uzi and V give each other a look for a second, showing how even if they won't say it to each other's faces, they both care about each other, and Uzi is genuinely happy to know that V is okay. Sin tries another callback ping on Uzi, which is very ineffective. In fact, it actually affects Sin more, making one of her eyes purple for a second. Uzi catches the pickaxe that Nori was trying to give her in space with her hand, while catching the railgun with her tail, meaning that it probably took a long time for the railgun to actually get to the surface when Dad threw it. At the sight of the railgun, Jay gets another prior hazard warning on one of her eyes, the same warning she got in episode 7. The music playing in the background during this moment is just titled K, which is just what Sin says during this moment. Nori drops a mixtape down towards Uzi titled Nightcore Mix _ 093, which is 14 minutes and 17 seconds long. In reality, the song that plays during this fight is called Bite Me, of course, Uzi's signature catchphrase. The vocals are done by this person, I don't know how to pronounce their name. There are actually 3 versions of this song, the original one used in the episode, the one with this person's original vocals, and one final one that is a Nightcore version of the original song that was already Nightcored. I guess that makes it Nightcored Square? We actually hear Nori listening to this song in episode 7, though very faintly in the background. Uzi shoots the railgun at Jay, cutting off one of her pigtails. Uzi then throws the railgun at Jay while it's recharging. Uzi attacks Sin with the pickaxe, but Sin successfully deflects the attack with Tessa's sword. Where they come from? No clue, it just looks sick as heck. After some clashes, Sin throws her sword at Uzi. Unfortunately for Jay, she's in the way and gets her head chopped off. Uzi grabs the railgun that is still recharging and uses it as a bat to hit Jay's head towards Sin, which she dodges with ease. The railgun actually finishes charging up, but then Uzi drops it on the ground. Sin sneaks up behind her, but Uzi notices and dodges her attack. She swings at her pickaxe towards Sin's heart, and for a split second, the word Frank appears on Sin's body in a blue text. As she tricks Uzi into thinking she swung her pickaxe towards N, which unfortunately works. Jay tries to attack Uzi from the back, but V and N come at the perfect moment to save her. Jay is blasted into a pit, never to be seen again for the rest of the fight. Sin's illusion is broken, with a derpy-faced emoticon appearing on her eye. She throws the pickaxe back towards Uzi and she catches it. Here's my favorite sequence of attacks in this fight. V shoots 3 missiles at Sin, she destroys 2 and dodges 1. That is until N kicks the one she dodged in her direction. Sin catches it, just for N to chop her head off with his chainsaw hands in style. Sin reattaches her head to her body, dodges N's incoming attack, catches the missile once more, and throws it at V. That scene just lives rent-free in my head. She grabs her sword once more and tricks N into a false sense of security by displaying an image of a golden retriever on her eyes, which we know N is very fond of from episode 5. Uzi chops off Sin's head only for it to be another illusion. Throughout the fight, we can actually see how exactly Sin is creating these illusions, which is with the eye camera thingy that we see in episode 2 and 5. I don't actually know what it's called. V saves Uzi, which she doesn't seem very happy about. V then attacks Sin on her own while Uzi and N are trying to make their handshake. Luckily, Uzi flies in with her wings and uppercuts Sin, giving her a dizzy eye effect. They perfect their handshake, but unfortunately, Sin swipes N and V away. Sin then goes in for Uzi's heart, but this time Uzi notices that it's an illusion and turns around to grab the real Sin's heart, which leaves her in shock. Uzi rips out her heart and uses another null command to make another hole in the planet. She holds Sin's heart on top of it, burning it alive. We can actually see that the sunlight also affects Uzi on the arm as well. One thing I see people complaining about a lot is the fact that it was so easy for Uzi, N, and V to defeat Sin, but I feel like you're missing an important detail. Throughout the whole fight, Sin is smiling. She's enjoying this. In other words, she's playing with her food. Of course, Sin could have easily won that fight, but it was her hubris that got to her. Back to the breakdown now. After that, the same thing that happened in episode 2 happens. Sin's heart creates a black hole, but this time it consumes both her and Uzi, making everything around them stop and also turning the surrounding area monochrome. We then get, in my opinion, the scariest scene of the show, as Sin's body tries to grab her heart from Uzi's hand, only for Uzi to consume it, which leaves her in shock. Without her heart, Sin's body melts into nothingness. Uzi begins to pass out as her visors begins to flash from the color purple to yellow. N rushes towards her, but right as he gets there, she passes out. Her visors flash between the colors purple, yellow, and red. In one frame, we can also see the words RUS and doll on the screen. RUS standing for Russian. Could this mean doll is alive inside of Uzi? Uzi wakes up with her wings out. Along with that, she also has her new tails out. Dad, Lizzie, and Con are all seen to be safe, Con even having a weird reunion with Nori. The red-eyed sentinel appears once more, driving a bus with V and N inside. He proceeds to chase Lizzie, Dad, and Con once more, Con doing the Naruto run. N and V spot Uzi and run towards her. That is until V spots her new weird eye color and immediately pulls out her gun, thinking Sin somehow gained control. However, Uzi is still in control, most likely making her the new admin of the Absolute Solver program. The music that plays throughout this scene is titled "Haha, yeah dude, that's sick," referring to Uzi's new eye color most likely. We then cut to a distant future where Uzi is showing off this as an MP4 video, titled V is Stinky, hee hee hee. This whole presentation scene is actually a reference to the one she gave in episode 1, with an updated image of the hero's journey. This time at the bottom it says, "Forget about all of this instantly, get tunnel vision on spooky corpse robot reveal, work backwards from there," referring to Sin of course. Some of the students seem confused while some are actually on sleep mode, except for Thad and Lizzie and V. Thad and N are cheering her on while Lizzie and V are booing her. V is holding the head of a dead worker drone, and for a split second we see Doll's dead body down in the mines. The disrespect. N throws a drawing at V and on it depicts Uzi, V, and N in an anime-like style. There's also a dog in the corner for some reason. N also weirdly looks like N from Pokemon in the drawing. He then shows V a how-to-draw manga book, which she doesn't seem totally against. I feel like this supports the idea of a potential Murder Drones comic book that'll come out in the future. The episode ends with Uzi showing off her new solver look, now with 2 different eye colors, purple and yellow. All of the students scream in terror, the ones in sleep mode even break out of it. However, N, V, Lizzie, and probably Thad seem completely unfazed. The music that plays during the credits is titled Forever. In the credits, we see a shot of Jay rebuilding the landing pod. We have no clue where she may be flying towards though. In this shot, we can see that Uzi drew herself on the door wall and drew himself as a dog. In this shot, Uzi and N are playing cards with Khan and some other worker drones, probably the same game from episode 1. Nori can also be seen resting on Khan's head, meaning that they probably have gotten back together. In this hallway, we can see a ghost-like figure that resembles Doll. I don't know if it makes any logical sense for a ghost of a robot to be roaming around, but with this and the fact that Uzi may also be fused with Doll, I think this means that our favorite Russian drone isn't quite gone yet. We see Uzi in her room with N watching some sort of movie, the head of a dead worker drone in the corner, most likely used by Uzi to prevent her from overheating and going on another killing spree. One of the characters on the screen is saying, "Whoa, horrors, pog in chat." We get another shot of Doll's room, and speaking of Doll, during what seems to be another prom, Lizzie appears to be holding a funeral service for Doll. On it, she calls her Doll Babytron Queen 1000. I don't know how Doll would feel about her mother and father's murderer being there, but whatever. All of them also don't seem to think too fondly of Doll, judging by their faces. Outside, while Uzi and En are flying with each other in the air, V seems to be playing chess with the red-eyed sentinel, which I'm assuming she fully domesticated. Lizzie is even using it as a chair. We can also see that the key bug is resting on top of the sentinel. In cryo sleep, we can actually see another eldritch monster in there. I don't actually know who this could be, being honest. My first thought is Uzi, but I'm not sure. Finally, in the final scene of the show, Uzi is opening her locker, and in the mirror, it seems like Uzi is some sort of hologram. This could just be Sin messing with her, but again, unsure. Whatever is going on with Uzi, though, can definitely be answered with future Murder Drones content. Sin speaks to Uzi through her tail and says that she could use a bow, a reference to the fact that Tessa wears a bow. Uzi closes the locker with the message "K thinks bye" appearing at the end. And that's it, my full breakdown of episode 7. God, that was a long video. If you made it to the end, leave a purple heart in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys another time. If you caught any details I missed, please let me know in the comments. And always remember to stay safe, have fun, and be the coolest person ever. Bye!